Good morning. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to my Sunday morning conscious eating, conscious living chat. And it is August 20th, and it's been quite a summer. In British Columbia, we've had very little rain, and we've had lots of dry weather, actually all over our province. And we're experiencing wildfires like we haven't ever before across our country and many countries around the world. Lahaina in Maui was an example of fire mixed with hurricane force winds and who knows what else. And so it's devastating for everybody involved. And apparently in British Columbia, we have more than 300 forest fires burning at the moment. Some are in control and some are not. And how do we deal with that? And how can we certainly deal with the fallout, the smoke? Vancouver, the sun this morning was a glaring fire orange in color due to the smoke coming down from the fires on different parts of our province. And so I wanted to I asked a friend, what can we do with all this ash and all the particulates coming through the air? And just a bit of information about some fires, sort of Canada-wide. To date, there's been 5,700 fires versus 10 years ago, there was just under 1,700 fires. And the area burned was 13,687,000 hectares. And in 2013, there was 2,271,000 hectares. And this is according to the National Wildland Fire Report. So, families are being uprooted, communities are facing untold displacement and loss of income, jobs, security of place, and so much more. And rebuilding the communities is going to be so enormous financially. And we will need to do a lot of giving, some soul searching, embracing new ways of living, and priorities for our government spending. So with this, I can't even imagine these communities where they have lost everything. I have family and his family's family that have lost their home, and the whole the fear and the uncertainty of dealing with that kind of thing. So we need to come together and support each other in ways, maybe ways that we didn't know how, and ways that we can. And so we're all being exposed to different doses of these contaminants depending on how close we are to those fires. Because we know that air is not stationary. I've got wind blowing right here now, and I can smell smoke. And I'm hundreds and hundreds of miles from any of the fires. And what that does is it irritates the sinuses, the eyes, and our lungs. And for some people, especially if they're super sensitive, or they have asthma and other breathing problems, shortness of breath. So if you're in a high risk, high smoke area, stay indoors today. Don't go out and do the running that you might have done, and stay inside. And so that way, when you're not exerting yourself, you're not breathing in more particulates as your lungs and your heart are trying to pump as you're doing your jogging. So detoxing after smoke exposure is essential to your long-term and your short-term health. And so I'm going to go through some points that I found on this very helpful website on dealing with fire-invoked smoke, forest fires, etc. Drink lots of water and drinking hot liquids. When there's a decrease in the air quality, it can cause the psyllium all those cilia in your nasal sinus cavity to stop moving. And the hot liquids can encourage the cilium to start moving again. And this can promote the movement and the removal of mucus and saliva, which often contains high levels of contaminants. And a good hot liquid drink can be made by steeping slippery elm and marshmallow root in hot water. And these two herbs support, moisten, and relax the fragile tissues in your mouth, throat, and lungs. Slippery elm has a coating effect on the lungs, helping, to protect from smoke and other environmental irritants. Slippery elm bark is also rich in antioxidants that help flush out toxic particles from the respiratory system. And elm bark should not be used for children, pregnant, or nursing mothers. I also found information about nettle leaf, and these infusions support the respiratory system. They can contain natural antihistamine properties and provide natural energy and stamina when you feel fatigue. Nettles contain calcium, magnesium, potassium, silicon, iron, boron, and zinc. It's also an excellent source of vitamin A, D, E, and K. And herbalist Susan Weed explains, since the minerals and other phytochemicals in nourishing herbs are made more accessible by drying, dried herbs are considered best for infusions. And precaution with nettles, it does contain vitamin K. So if you're taking blood thinners, just be aware that nettles, like other greens and spinach, can reduce the blood thinners. So you may have to have your warfarin or other blood thinner adjusted. And also because of its diuretic and hypotensive action, nettle leaf may lower blood pressure. If you're taking diuretics or other drugs meant to lower blood pressure, consult your doctor before using nettle leaf. Another option is using a saline nasal spray and mincing your sinuses also with a neti pot, which looks like a little Aladdin's lamp. And I use a mild salt solution, and you sort of put it in one nose, it drains out, and you drain the other. So you're removing some of those pollutants that are actually trapped in your nasal passages. And if they're allowed to remain in the nasal passages and sort of kind of the upper sinus area, that is helped with the steaming, however, they can easily travel to the lungs and cause additional issues. And generally, a rinsing with a neti pot can reduce congestion and improve symptoms, such as coughing, sneezing, and dry nasal passages. And the next one is breathing and steam with thyme. And thyme has some wonderful benefits. I did a bit of research, and it's a wide variety, and it has compounds that fight viruses and bacteria and even fungus. It can be used in a variety of ways. We can eat it, and also with the steaming, and in combination with other herbs. And this is attributed to its multi-pharmacological properties that include antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, and anti-neoplastic actions. And it has long been known for its antiviral, antibacterial, antifungal, and antiseptic activities. It's also an adaptogen, whereby they increase the body's ability to resist the damaging effects of stress and promote or restore normal physiological functioning. And you can drink it as a restorative tea. It can be used in a variety of ways with other herbs. And for non-smoke issues, it helps protect the neurons in the brain from premature aging. And it also increases the amount of active omega-3 DHA, just the docosahexaenoic acid in the brain. And the omega-3 fatty acids can increase working memory, executive function, mood, and decrease brain atrophy. So the essential oil is thymol, and it's used as a disinfectant and an antiseptic. And actually, ever since ancient times, thyme, Thyme, has been used to cure cough and throat-related problems. It's a rich source of vitamin C, A, copper, fiber, iron, and manganese. Ever feel fatigued or lazy? Just add some thyme to your diet. I'm making some potatoes with thyme for dinner. It will not only make you feel energetic, but will elevate your mood through its active therapeutic constituent known as carvacrol. In ancient Greece and Rome, it was seen as a symbol of strength, power, courage, and sacrifice. It was even embroidered on the togas of the generals. During the Crusades, it was given to knights about to go into battle to give them strength. The Romans thought that eating thyme before or during a meal would cure poisons, making it especially popular among Roman emperors. The Egyptians also used thyme as a pain reliever, and it was included in many of their medicines. And when the Black Death hit, thyme was used in so many medicines as treatment. In the Victorian age, nurses would often bandage wounds with a thyme solution. Breathing a steam rich with thyme can help expel foreign substances, clear passageways, and reduce the irritation level of your sinuses. The simplest way to create thyme-filled steam is to add 1 to 2 tablespoons of thyme to a large bowl. Pour in boiling water, lower your head so it's inches from the hot water, and cover your head and bowl with a large towel, trapping the steam under the towel. Breathe deeply for 1 to 2 minutes and repeat as needed. Other options include receiving a vitamin-rich IV drip, and these drip therapies allow you to give your body a huge boost of the key vitamins and minerals that we need to function at its peak. Load your diet with ginger. Ginger is another fabulous natural detoxifier. Not only does it contain chemical compounds that help the lungs function, ginger improves blood circulation, which is really important to get things moving. Increase your vitamin C intake. Another natural antioxidant is vitamin C. During the late fall and early winter, satsumas, type of mandarin, and pomegranates offer an easy and delicious way to add more vitamin C to your diet. Upgrading your glutathione levels. Glutathione is another natural antioxidant. It supports the production of cellular energy and can help protect your DNA from oxidative damage, which is a common side effect of smoke exposure. Also, iodine is wonderful when the adrenals are producing too much cortisol due to stress of any kind. So we all know right now, depending on where you live, there's a lot of stressed people out there, and this might be very helpful. Cortisol is a stress hormone the adrenal glands release, and it helps your body deal with stressful situations. As your brain triggers its release through the sympathetic nervous system, the fight or flight system, which many thousands, 20,000 people in Yellowknife have had to leave, some without one bag and some with one bag that contains all of their precious items going into Alberta and into emergency centers. So I can't imagine the stress that they're undergoing. So while short-term release of cortisol can help you run quickly from danger, when cortisol levels are too high for too long, this hormone can hurt you more than it helps. And over time, this can lead to an array of health issues such as weight gain, high blood pressure, diabetes, heart disease, insomnia or difficulty sleeping, mood irregularities, and low energy levels. Iodine also helps regulate levels of the stress hormone cortisol and contributes to normal immune function. Also, when man-made structures burn toxic metals, uh, and those metals and all the structures that are in those buildings, um, and then, when they're released, and not to mention the other small particulates from other environmental contaminants that we're exposed to every day, we need to pay attention. Anthony William has a detox smoothie on his medical medium website under recipes that will help remove some of those heavy toxic metals. So, a bit of information for you. As always, I encourage you to do your own research, be your own advocate, be your own investigative reporter for your health, your body, because in these times we need to look after ourselves, our family, our community in the best ways that we can. And you being an informed consumer and living consciously, eating consciously, we can support our own body and its immune system. That is part of our divine design. The plants and the food we eat and our body work together. And we can build our immune system on our own. And taking in those plants, those herbs, having those infusions, and trying some of the things that I mentioned today, we can keep ourselves healthy. And it's up to us to take on that responsibility for ourselves. I encourage you to do so. Namaste, my friends. Have a beautiful day, and let's just send prayers of healing light and love around the world. Just healing light and love around the world for the planet herself and for humanity. And in those places in Canada, United States, Spain, all over the world, we're experiencing some severe natural disasters between the fires and the flooding going on in different countries around the world. Um, we need to be sending our love and our shining light. That's what we're all here as some kind of a light worker, sharing our love around the world, because that makes a difference. So I encourage you to do so. Have a wonderful day. Thank you. You can always contact me at rosiesjoy11@gmail.com. And I encourage you to visit my website and app, Authentic Sacred Design, where I have different articles and videos on health related issues to do with our body, mind, spirit, and earth. Until next time.